The Heat, they were big underdogs coming into last night's game, but that really hasn't mattered to Jimmy Butler.
Not for Perk. Perk picked them last night.
Yeah, sure did.
We're going to get into Perk's magical predictions. I was trying to do some alliteration there, but it didn't really come up for me.
Perfect.
Perk's perfect picks.
Yeah,
we'll go with that.
Perk just perfect.
No, we're going to start in the fourth quarter here because the Miami Heat, they dropped a playoff franchise record 46 points, Perk, in the quarter.
On time, on target. You know the great thing that I saw about the Miami Heat? They beat the Boston Celtics at their own game by pushing the pace. They did not give them opportunity to get set on the defense.
Come on, Max. Don't mess up that assist, homie.
Jimmy finds Bam Adebayo.
Jimmy just does it all. Look, Jimmy's so impressive because it's like we act like Jimmy isn't like crazy talented or crazy skilled. Jimmy has all of the abilities, all the skills, and look, Missoula's tired of it. I'm with you, Joe.
I ain't believe that little fake temper tantrum.
This is the quarter where everything changed, Perk.
Absolutely. And look, Jimmy Butler, not depending on anyone, making the right play, relocating, knocking down the corner three. And all the Celtics are doing right there is bad body language and complaining while the Miami Heat is busting their you-know-what.
Do you know what I like about the Miami Heat is that without a doubt, you know they are following one person. They are going as Jimmy goes, and they all fall in line. The Boston Celtics, these turnovers from JT, it was just tough to watch a player that's been so on fire here. And even here, he questioned it. We go to the replay. His left foot was 2 inches off the ground. What are you talking about?
But was it a careless turnover or a forced turnover by Caleb Martin? I think that was a forced turnover.
I agree.
In the fourth quarter, though, for Jayson Tatum when it mattered the most. And here, Jimmy Butler, this was the call. Jimmy freaking Butler. Game high, 35 points for him. Let's take a listen to Jimmy, Himmy, however you want to call him after the game.
How does this feel to you guys, what you have done so far? And if you go back all the way to that night against Chicago in the play-in, did you think then that something like this would be possible?
Damn right. I did. Damn right we did. And the best part about it is we still don't care what none of y'all think, honestly speaking. We don't care if you pick us to win. We never have. We never will. We know the group of guys we have in his locker room. We know that Coach Spo puts so much confidence and belief in each and every one of us. Coach Pat as well. And so our circle's small, but this circle got so much love for one another. We pump constant confidence into everybody. And we go out there and we hoop. We play basketball the right way, knowing that we always got a chance.
So Jimmy, he averaged just under 23 points per game during the regular season, but then he's taken his game to another level in the playoffs, putting up 31.5 points per game. That's similar to the Heat as a team. They were last in the NBA in scoring in the regular season, but look how much better they have been in the postseason. Your playoff perfect Perk picks continues. You picked the Miami Heat in game one. Is it time that everyone just needs to stop sleeping on them?
Well, the last time I checked, it's 4 teams that are still playing right now,
That's
and
correct.
the Miami Heat is one of them. And they're up 1-0. They are a legit championship caliber team. When you look at how they play with agenda-free basketball. They're disciplined on the defensive side of things. So what makes up a championship team? Let's go down the checklist, okay? Let's go down the list. They have shooting. Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent could get hot. We saw Kyle Lowry, Kevin Love. Okay, when you talk about interior defense, Kevin Love taking charges, Bam Adebayo blocking shots, being able to defend out on the perimeter. When you talk about leadership, they have that. And Udonis Haslem, Kevin Love, and Kyle Lowry, both of those guys are champions. Jimmy Butler is leading on the floor. They have the best coach in basketball. They have one of the best defensive teams in basketball. They lead the league in charge taken. So my thing is, what else we need to see out of them? They have everything and more to go and win the championship, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
I have no disagreement with what Perk is saying because when you look at it now, we can be respectfully honest in saying talent level, not saying that these guys aren't all pros, but you would look at Boston and saying that Boston has a little bit more talent, a little bit more depth. Now, I understand that there are people out, like no Tyler Hero, but Perk is right. When you look at this team, where are they lacking? They're not lacking in shooting. They're not lacking in coaching. They outwork the New York Knicks. That's something that we don't see from a Tibbs team, from a New York team. Awesome. They outworked them. They out-hustled them. And then they've just been shooting the ball well. And I'll say this in my meeting with Eric Spoelstra before Game 6. He's like, look, we're probably a four seed. We had a ton of injuries. We don't look at ourselves like an 8 seed. We don't look at that. We have experience. We are a team that is probably top 4. So that's what we feel like we're playing. So this is not anything new. They don't feel like they're an underdog. They just feel like they're going out doing what they're supposed to.
But I think, can I ask both of y'all a question? When we say that the other teams that are still playing like the team that they're going against, they have more talent, is that the truth?
Yes.
No, why? But why though? Because is it the truth because of what guys were drafted at in the position?
No.
Because what I'm looking at is Caleb Martin is a hooper. Caleb Martin is a hooper. And I'm looking at him and I'm looking at Derek White and I'm like, to bring the same thing to the
But I think when you're looking at okay, you're talking about an all NBA talents, when you're talking about people in the MVP discussions, but and we say oftentimes, right, in the playoffs, and you guys know this better than I do, you've actually been out there, you've won, you're champions, you say that talent wins out. But also hustle and heart have a little bit to say in that conversation, and I think that's where Richard's coming from.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about like the undrafted part, but let's just talk about individual accolades in the last 2 years. You got two-time All-NBA first-team guy in Jayson Tatum. You got All-NBA guy in Jaylen Brown. You got Defensive Player of the Year last year in Marcus Smart. You got multiple All-Defensive players when you're talking about Malcolm Brogdon just won the Sixth Man of the Year. So I'm not saying awards dictate talent. I'm saying when you look at the collection of players on the Boston Celtics, they should play better than what they have been playing.
And I agree, but this is what I'm saying. All those guys that you named, they was given the opportunity from day one since they came into the league.
And sometimes.
And now all of a sudden, these guys that we're seeing on the Miami Heat are finally getting their chance.
Well, and sometimes when you feel like you have something to prove, that's when the dog comes out. That's when you're like, no one picked me to be here. Well, I'm going to show you why. It was just a happenstance thing. But I do love it when he does that. All right, you guys mentioned the Boston Celtics. Let's take a listen to Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown after the game.
You know, you still got to play the game. You still got to make plays, regardless of, you know, you're home or on the way. You know, the court is the same. It's 1 ball, 3 reps, 2 baskets. You know, so, you know, I don't have an exact answer why we 500 at home. You know, we just got to be better.
We came out too cool. Like, it was just almost like we was just playing the regular season game. Like, it's the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, come on. We got to play with more intensity than we did today. And we just got to be better, including me.
Oh, okay, ladies and gentlemen. And now, look, last night we saw something that's been kind of a reoccurring. First of all, can we have a moment for the fit? Ooh, okay, not Perk. Let's keep it here. But we've seen a lot of different things, right, over this postseason. And we've seen a lot of great, elite, best of the best struggling in the fourth quarter. We got James Harden, Julius Randle, All-NBA, led the league in assists, MVP, top 3 MVP. Anthony Davis, one of the most talented guys in this league. And we've seen them disappear in the fourth quarter, doing very uncharacteristic things because the fourth quarter, and what's beautiful about basketball, the fourth quarter is where the stars are. That's where you make your name. That's where you get paid, that fourth quarter, right? And so then look, when we're going to look at this graphic, we're going to pop up this graphic. I'm talking about Harden had 0 points in game 5, 6, and 7 versus Boston. Julius Randle, 6 fourth quarters, 6 of them in the postseason with 2 points or less. Joel Embiid, we talked about it a bunch, 2 points in game 7. Giannis, 2 for 13 in 2 fourth quarters versus Miami. This guy, a lot of people think is the best player on the planet. I'm one of them. And then Davis, he's had 4 fourth quarters with only 2 points. Davis, the only one left. And we bring all that up to talk about Jayson Tatum. Humbly, one of the best players in the world. This is his own words. And watch, he's just standing around. He's not doing anything. He's not getting any activity. If you saw the beginning of this, he was the screen and roll guy. So here, watch this. He leads off. Now, Jayson Tatum had 30. He didn't have a bad game, Perk.
But check this out. They're pushing the pace. Okay, Jaylen Brown don't have anything. Just look at him.
Watch him.
Al Horford shoots a 3, get his own offensive rebound.
4 minutes to go.
Okay, look. So he's asking for the ball way over here. This is a tough pass. And Al Horford.
Oh, and Jimmy on it. Jimmy on it.
Like, when you're standing around, the Jayson Tatum I know would have been cutting down the lane with force.
Yeah, so look, when we talk about all of these great players, these are the best players in the world. So to see them struggle in the fourth quarter, and we've seen it a bunch this postseason. Jayson Tatum is just the latest victim. But at the end of the day, like he said humbly, he's one of the best players in the world, and that is 100% true. They just need to get him the ball in the fourth quarter so he can show it again.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.